hopefully this is going to go well. You can hear everything. You really know how to, you can't see this yet because we haven't set our 3, 2, 1 yet. But, dude, if you stretch that shirt out anything more, I'm not going to even tape it, and we're sending Metro home.
No way.
No way. All right, I guess we'll just go with Metro then. 3, 2, 1. Hey, good afternoon. We are at the Goose, and this episode's going to be a great one. I can feel it already.
We're like cranking them out now.
It is.
All of a sudden, we're like pros.
Oh, man. You know what? People are going to be calling us. We called that on one of the other ones.
Yeah.
People are going to be calling us to get on the show.
Your mom doesn't count.
Well, or my dad, because, well, they're probably the only listeners.
Your dad called earlier during the first show.
It was nice. Can't pick it up. I will call you back, I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get to our timer here. So we're going to systematically pick off all these.
Well, I'll tell you what, while you're doing that,
yes,
I'm bringing in the guest.
All right.
Glenn, come on in, buddy.
All right.
Drop that bag of M&Ms and
all right.
head on over to the couch.
That was good shrimp back there.
Someday.
All right.
In our dreams.
Here we go.
All right, we got our timer going. Glenn, I can't thank you enough for coming back. The episode that you didn't see, we had a bunch of technical difficulties, and we ended it by saying how humble you are as a player, as a coach, as a human being. And so we're grateful that you came back.
Well, of course.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, thanks. Yeah, isolation's getting the best of me, but things are starting to open up. So it's
and they're opening up here too. So that's wonderful. So thank you so much for coming back. There are so many things we want to talk to you about. And after the first one, I think we went almost an hour. And it was some really good stuff. So we're going to talk about where you were, how you got here, and then get into what you're doing with yourself now. So
let's start with your NHL career. 6 or 7 teams.
Well,
I think it was 7, right?
Probably 7, yeah.
And of course, 1 year with the Boston Bruins, his best season ever. Not a coincidence.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The Bruins, great years. I started professional hockey. Well, do you want to go back to?
Let's go. Let's roll. Yeah, no, we want to know how you got here, because the whole point of the show is to talk about development. And since everyone starts out saying we're going to be in the NHL, we actually have somebody who got to the NHL, and not the typical route. So I think it's really important that you understand that just because one door closes, another door opens, and nothing replaces discipline and desire, right?
That's the will.
And you had a good chunk prior to the NHL and a good chunk after the NHL.
Yeah. Being a kid from Toronto, Canada, it's kind of like in your blood. It's in your fiber.
It's kind of theme of the show too.
Yeah, well, yeah, we love it. So,
yep.
Growing up, everyone played ball hockey or ice hockey, and raised by a single mom downtown Toronto. Didn't have all the resources that you kind of play for the top teams, but I kept on grinding. Long story short, I won't make this too long, but I ended up hooking onto a junior team that a good friend of mine was trying out for. And I was playing high school hockey, which isn't really that big of a deal in Canada.
Okay.
So
it's big down here.
Yeah. So he had a good chance to go. He was the top player going to this team. He's like, "Hey, why don't you come out and try out?" And I was like, deep down inside, I knew I was as good as him. And I was the last cut. And then 2 years there.
Did your friend make it?
My friend was, he was the top prospect for the team. So he's like, why don't you come and try out?
Okay.
He was my best buddy. He was like, you're good. He knew I was good.
So we owe him a plug, sounds like.
Yeah, Jeff Wilson.
Okay.
He didn't turn pro or nothing. Yeah, he didn't he didn't stick with it, unfortunately, but played 2 years of junior in Toronto, and then I made the move. I was kind of like, I was 18, 19, starting to go down the wrong path. The league wasn't as challenging anymore that I felt at the time, and I was like, I needed to make a change, and I got recruited to go to Vernon, British Columbia.
Okay.
British Columbia Junior Hockey League, and pursue the college route, the university route, and had a great year out there. I was in top 5 scoring. Had all the schools, kind of top schools, coming after me, and I signed a letter of intent with Bowling Green, Ohio. They're top 5, I think, at the time.
Sure, yeah, and, very strong program.
The Falcons, yeah. And long story short, my grades in Toronto, I was raised single mom downtown, I just went to school to get my grades,
Yeah.
just get to pass. And it kind of hurt me in the long run. I would have had to have been a red shirt, which meant I'd have to sit out a whole year and not play, just practice with the team. And I'm like, no, I don't want to play hockey. So I was never drafted. So, and I'm calling my old coach on the Vernon team, the British Columbia junior team. He's like, yeah, I can get you a tryout in the IHL. I'm like, all right, well, thanks. I'd love to. So he got me a tryout, Atlanta Knights at the time.
Okay.
And that was the IHL team. And I was the first cut. Got sent down to the East Coast Hockey League, Nashville. Living on the outskirts of Nashville and kind of just battle my way, man. Just put on the grit switch and
well, and
my rounds,
you're good at that. I mean, your hands are soft. I was watching some clips of you, and well, first of all, I had no idea. You were inducted into the Hall of Fame this year for Canada, yeah?
It was the East Coast Hockey League.
Right.
Yeah, that was in January. Quite an honor. That's the feeder programs to the NHL.
Right.
And,
Hall of Fame of anything. So
yeah, it was
A couple of really good seasons down there, right?
Yeah. My first year point a game, and then the second year I really had a great year, and that's kind of where.
Right, because you played for Montreal and
Yeah, that I was in Quebec in the IHL, and then from there I went to Grand Rapids in the IHL for 2 years. That's when I signed my first NHL contract with Washington Capitals.
Okay, so you were playing floorball and growing up, and you were explaining a story how you were just deking around leaves. So when we're talking about it doesn't take a whole lot to hone your skills and to get better, be resourceful, be creative, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's back to my story. Growing up, single mom in and out of foster homes. Didn't really have a lot of a new pair of skates to me was my friend giving me his old skates.
Right. Yeah, my neighbor. I got all my gear from my neighbor.
Yeah, so
So you didn't have access to a lot of resources other kids had.
Right. I'd be the kid with one hockey stick where you can't take slap shots. So it'd be my ball hockey stick and my ice hockey stick. And
right.
And when you're moving around a lot, and if you got so much passion for the game, which I had, that's all I did to kind of escape the reality I was living in.
Well, and you did roller hockey.
Yeah.
Right. And you played over in Europe as well?
Yeah. I played roller hockey. When you're in the East Coast Hockey League, you're not making much money. Tried to save as much as I could. Went back home, had a summer job, laying down sod, doing some gardening work. And I got an opportunity to go play in the RHI, Roller Hockey International League. I'm like, well, yeah, shit, why not? Yeah. We played roller hockey. It was great conditioning and all that. But the next year, I was able to save a little bit more money where I could concentrate on building my body. And then I was able to kind of get up and play pro hockey, with these big guys. It wasn't junior hockey.
Yeah.
They were men.
And, I joke about the Bruins, but you were there 1 year, and I remember as a fan watching the Bruins that year that, who's this Metropolit guy? He's smart, he's fast, he's got smooth, and you kind of got an opportunity to have that good season with Boston because of the hit on Patrice that cost him, 2 seasons in the NHL? Yeah,
he missed a good fair amount. I don't know how many games, but he was out for the whole year.
You slid right in there, and you were a big part of that team that year.
Yeah, that gave me that kind of solidified my coming out party, so to speak. I was always kind of bubble guy. I did 4 years in. I did 4 years with the Washington Capitals system up and down. I'd get called up, and when you're on a 2-way contract, the way back in the day, the way your contracts were structured, you get X amount of money down, X amount up, and I'd get sent down because it was cheaper for the teams, and having one guy up on a one-way, it was just became a little political at times, and but I kept grinding, and finally after 4 years, kind of up and down, they wouldn't trade me, and then I was like, we had our daughter, Olivia, and we were up and down in and out of hotels, and she was sleeping in a Residence Inn drawer. I'm like, I can't do this no more for her. So they wouldn't trade me, so I went over to Finland. I was like, okay, my dream was to prove everyone that I was an NHL player, because I knew every time I got called up, I played good, but I just didn't get my break, And that being
but you were always ready. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, every time I got called up, I always showed up, played well, and just the numbers game. And so,
your stats are consistent. I mean, I don't know how we gauge things. I mean, but I was looking at all your NHL stats, and boy, steady Eddie, man. You were.
Well, keep in mind that's with limited ice time as well, too.
Yeah.
Not being able to crack that lineup, and you got a guy that can produce some points there with getting minimal minutes.
Yeah.
And then Boston rolls around and you start getting more minutes.
Yeah, well, you got the NHL, right? You got the draft picks that you got ownership now. You got GMs that are getting heat if a draft pick's not playing. And I was a guy, I wasn't drafted, but I'd signed. But I got my opportunity to kind of whatever the coach needed. As we talked last time, it's not about me. It was about the team, and body language goes a long way. And
that's huge. So let's stop right there.
Yeah.
We were talking about culture in the last episode, and so body language really is critical for not only the player but the coaching. Right? It kind of says a lot when people aren't looking. Right?
Yeah.
And so there was a situation, Chris, that you brought up. It had to do with an early morning conversation of a potential trade.
Well, you're working out in the morning with Philadelphia. You get a phone call in the afternoon. You're being sent to Montreal, and that night you're playing Philadelphia.
Yeah, that was a wild night or a wild day. Just wild, yeah. Got to the rink in the morning, practice with Philly. Getting ready. We knew Montreal Canadiens were in town. We played at the Spectrum, not the Spectrum, sorry, Wells Fargo. And John Stevens pulls me aside. I was skating on a line with myself, Upshaw, and Lupul or Hartnell. Just feeling good. The morning routine, snapping a puck around, feeling good, catch the edges, And John Stevens at the time just pulls me aside. He said, "There's a good chance you might get traded or get put on waivers, get picked up by a team." And I'm like, "Okay, well, whatever." He's like, "Be ready." I'm like, "Okay, no problem. I'll be ready."
Right.
Went home, did my routine, chicken parm, salad. Take my nap, get a call from Bob Gainey, the famous Bob Gainey, and he said, you're a Montreal Canadian. It was quite an honor just to talk to Bob Gainey. Never mind just being able to, original six, play for the Bruins.
Right.
It's just, I've been blessed by all the organizations that wanted me.
Sure.
I played for a lot of teams, but at the same time, it's like a lot of teams wanted me. But
so what was it like playing against your mates that night?
Yeah, that was wild. Starting lineup with Saku Koivu and
against the guys you practice with in the morning.
Against the guys in the morning, Line up against Hartnell, and we just laugh and chuckle. And first shift, they scored. The second shift, I got a penalty. Basically, come out of the penalty box, had a breakaway. I needed Mackey. He robbed me. I was just like, man, what is going on?
Right. Wow.
But it was quite experiencing.
Whirlwind of a day, huh?
Then on the airplane, kiss the family goodbye, and on my way to Montreal.
Wow.
With the new squad.
Right. So the ritual part of it and the superstition aspect of it, right? We all get into these habits. Did you have like a game day habit or I know you were mentioning you had your eggs, your standard, IHOP breakfast, if you will.
Yeah.
And then before the game was pasta. And so the nutrition aspect of it, what would bring us through a typical day, a game day? Or does that, it didn't matter if it was a practice or game, did it?
Well, at times, maybe practice day, you kind of cheat a little bit if you wanted to. But usually the night before a game, it'd be a steak, sweet potatoes, and a veggie, and salad, and then a good sleep. Get up in the morning and have.
It wasn't Pop-Tarts.
No Pop-Tarts. No,
Yeah.
we try to stay away from that process.
I'll have to let Wyatt know that because that's his favorite.
Exactly. Yeah, your diet changes as you move up. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, it was eggs in the morning, bacon, toast, go to the rink, skate. Some pasta,
Right.
bolognese or chicken parm.
Sure.
And then get to the game, a bagel, get a coffee and banana, and then.
And what about pregame? Everyone has a different thing, right? So what was your preparation? What did you do to get ready?
Mine was basically feel my stick. I'd always have my ball and kind of just feel hand-eye coordination, work on that a little bit, and then I'd always have my my keywords, before I put on my gear.
This was huge. So take note of this one. So bring us through that part.
Keywords?
I'd have to just you're strong, you're good, you belong here, and just get your mind right. It's a battle.
You're mentally reminding yourself of why you're there.
Yeah, and you're playing 82 games a year.
Right.
It's a lot of it's mental, right? You can't, no days off.
Right.
They don't care if you feel tired.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Guess what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or move down to the end of the bench, right?
So that's funny because growing up with my son, you come off. I'm tired. I don't care.
Yeah.
Are you playing or not?
What's funny about the tired part is just like so many coaches, right? You're back checking, you're out of breath, and then all of a sudden you get the puck, you get a breakaway. Yeah, you're not tired.
It's funny how that works out.
Yeah. Yeah, but a lot of preparation in the off season. It's just a lot of work that people don't see.
Is there ever, us working folk, we've got our day job every day, and it's a Monday to Friday, and Saturdays are cutting lawns or doing domestics and things like that. Is there ever a day off for an NHL player? We all, golf about trading sticks for clubs, right?
When there's not a pandemic.
For myself, the way I came up, right, it was like every practice was like a game for me.
Okay.
So it was like I was always kind of like on eggshells a little bit, never really, you got to practice like you play. So that's kind of was the philosophy a little bit in my mindset, because you felt like you're always trying out.
Right.
To stay there. You got the pressure to stay there. You got to do right. Every play's under a microscope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's some guys that get a little bit of rope, but
sure.
If you're one of the guys that are kind of like teetering, in the bubble a little bit, everyone has a role.
Yeah, that's the takeaway, right? So it doesn't matter how you got there. Yeah. You're there. Yeah. And then more importantly, it's like when we were doing the VJ analogy.
Yeah.
It's a bucket of balls, 90. What'd you say? It was 90 buckets of balls a day
to maintain his position as the second best golfer in the world.
Right.
And so you mentioned practice like you play. I've always told my students, you play like you practice like you play. If you can't bring it to the practice, you're not going to bring it to the game.
Right.
And so you have to show up for practice, and you have to be willing to just make that practice Game 7 of the Stanley Cup. And I've had students that do that show up every drill, they go out, But that's a good philosophy, and it's something that the kids need to hear.
Well, it's a habit, right?
It is.
You got to form that habit. You got to kind of bring it every day, and you got to kind of be reminded. Of course, I didn't learn that till later on, but for that instilled me. I got the passion for the game, and I loved it. And a big thing I spoke about last time was like bring enthusiasm to the rink. You know what I mean? Don't get back to body language. Be happy. You're playing hockey. It's like
right.
You shouldn't be. It's amazing that I've been able to play so long as I have, but I think a lot of it had to do with the enthusiasm I had and the passion towards the game.
Oh, absolutely. So all right. So now you find yourself in Tampa, and the first time I met you had to do with the girls program with the Lightning Maid, and with Kristen and Jay and Joey, and so what's it like starting that program, and what similarities did you see between the boys and the girls, or maybe what did you expect that didn't pan out, or what were the hidden gems of a new gig?
Well, for me, it was I retired 3 years ago, and playing 22 years of professional hockey, you're kind of at a different level, right? Your mindset. So, with that being said, 3 years up in the Panhandle, where I kind of was my happy place off season, working out, gym, then go play hockey, right? Go back. That was just kind of the way it worked. And then finally, I was like, no, I got to get back into hockey. I miss it. I had a good break, and
right.
And so I got down here, and the Lightning had been great. Kristen Bonus and the whole crew. I can't even go through everyone. Jay Feaster, everybody.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But they're like, yeah, why don't you take on the girls travel team? And I'm like, okay, great. I'd love to get back into coaching and player development, and took them on, and I took the JV high school team. But the JV, you got some kids that are really focused that want to play, and then some kids it just seemed like mom and dad just want them to do something. So,
right. Yeah, and then that's what they did.
And that's kind of so it was a mentality for myself to be like, okay, there's certain kids that want it, certain kids that don't want to improve. And then again, I've only had 1 hour a week with them on ice, so it was like, let's make it fun, which was, it was a different shift in mindset that I had to do. So,
right.
A lot of learning. I'm excited to get back. I was really impressed though by the girls and how good they were.
Sure.
It really was like the level of play. I didn't know what to expect.
What was it like to have to be given a group of players where there was such a varying difference between skill level? You had some pretty good players, right? Some top-line players. You had some girls that were just starting out and wanting to get in there. What was that like? Is it difficult to work with? Or?
Yeah, it was difficult to work because then again, you're talking about the growth of hockey here, then the limited ice time, and
the limited players.
Yeah, limited players, but at the same time, it's like a lot of these players are good, and then you gotta work with the ones that you want to get better, and they want to get better, but you got limited time to work with them.
Yeah,
so.
right.
basically just did my best with them, and kind of just concentrated on the basics in regards to edges, balance, and then then everything. Once you do that, more repetition, then you get better, just like anything, right? So,
well, Delaney and I were talking about that, and the preparation part of it, and what do you want out of this, right? Yep. And boy, she wants it. What's the difference between making a cut and not making a cut? Maybe.
The more work you put in, I think that gives you confidence. Okay. And if for myself, I never really got discovered, but I always believed in myself, and I knew that I had this belief in myself that I will get discovered. They will find you if you're good enough.
Right. Is that true? So, I mean, is that really
from what happened in my world? Because I wasn't playing in the top leagues in Toronto, and I finally went up, and I was kind of noticed, and went to junior, where I was kind of raw talent. I didn't have the best coaching, but I just play hockey all day. So
I mean, and there's no right or wrong to how you get there. I mean, that's really it seems like everyone that we've had on the show has a completely different path than what we anticipate. I mean, the expectation, I think, when you start out is, I'm going to the NHL. Yeah. All right. Well. Okay, great. It's nothing stopping you from getting there. I guess there's nothing that gets in your way, other than your mind, maybe.
Other than the man in the mirror.
Your own head, yeah.
Right. Yeah. But you did it, and you got there, and now you're giving back, as we talked about. And so, what are the things that you're working with the girls?
Yeah, I'm really putting it together. It's called the Metro Method. Just trying to put the mindset. It all starts with the warm up. I mean, that's important. You're in these cold rinks. It's all about you warming up, getting engaged, and trying to do the mental aspect. Have good talks before getting on the ice, doing the right workouts, hitting the right muscles, and I'm trying to put everything that I've learned over my career, playing over in Europe and Switzerland, Germany.
It's a lot of exposure, a lot of stuff.
I met a lot of strength coaches, and I'm still growing. I'm still trying to get a good grasp of it, and bring them on ice and try to work on their good skills, make them better, and work on their weaknesses.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to Thursday night. I'm
excited cool. to put my footprint down here in Tampa and hope hockey.
Well, you already have. I mean, it's so cool how you got here, and I think that tenacity and that will that you bring. We're so lucky to have you. Yeah, and that's it's awesome.
You bring a lot to the table with such a wide, varied exposure to different styles of hockey and different styles of coaching, and so now you're bringing that, like you said, picking a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, working that into your platform and your program. You're going to be doing some off-ice training and some video training with people. Talk about that for me.
Oh yeah. I'm connecting with. We're putting a platform together. It's called 44 Vision Hockey, and it's a good buddy of mine, Rob Shrimp. He's a first rounder, Edmonton Oilers. He retired, maybe last year, 2 years ago. We're getting a group of coaches, some ex-Olympians, Canadians, girls teams, and we're going to have all us coaches, and we're going to go we have a website that we use where we can pick out shifts of the individual, Johnny that's playing OHL, WHL, college, and critique his game. Hey, this is what you probably could have done to get a better angle, to the net.
It's the details.
It's the details that not necessarily every coach has the ability to see that, but we want to work on the individual and make sure that individual's good.
So the player would send this clip into you?
Yeah. So we get a variety of clips that we break down and just kind of give them our input from what I'd see. I was a big power play guy, so
right.
Yes, you were.
How do you manipulate the box? Maybe skate into the box and back up. Now they're collapsed. Now you got a one. That's kind of where we're starting to put that together, and I'm excited for that too. I'm just excited. I got passion for the game, and I can't wait to.
It's still there, and it's obvious because when you finish your NHL career, you weren't done yet. How many years did you spend playing hockey professionally after the NHL?
Oh, geez. After NHL, from 7, another 7, 6, 7 seasons. Went to Europe,
Yeah. So I mean, that's what's cool about it. I mean, it's.
Yeah, it's not just NHL. I mean,
right. It's hockey.
That's the goal, but it's
a lot of
get so much more out of it.
Are you doing men's league or anything like beer league at all? Or
yeah, I was skating there Thursday mornings, but I'm getting a lot of opportunities now playing beer leagues. I'm getting a lot of contracts going out at me.
First round draft pick this year, right?
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
So, but I haven't been really. I skate Thursday mornings, or I have been since
For the Ham and Eggers over at TBSA, or
where we no, we do it at Extra Ice.
Extra Ice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with the program. Yeah,
Smaller ice. So, try to.
some pretty high level players in that group.
Yeah, we had good little pace. Yeah, we got some of the alumni that's kicking around.
Sure.
That's good.
Yeah,
So.
Tucker, I've followed you a half dozen, for over a year as far as practices go, and man, you got nothing on us, right? So, who was we're with every episode we're trying to do Coach's Corner, where you mentioned I think it was in Vancouver or your who had the influence in your eyes?
For me, I've had so many great coaches, but when you think about NHL coaches, it's not really
It's not NHL, man. This is life.
yeah,
Who
had
left a footprint?
It always starts with your mom or the parents. Obviously, those are the people that get you to where you got to get to. For myself, it all the YMCA. Those were my mentors. The recreation centers, the Boys and Girls Club, where I always hung out. They kind of always guided me to kind of stay focused and play hockey. But talking pro hockey and junior hockey coaches, Rob Bremner, but my best pro coach was probably Glenn Hanlon.
Okay.
I got sent down from Washington after my first pro NHL game, and I was crushed. And I thought, oh man, that's it, right?
Right.
Kind of, feel bad for Glenn moment there for a week or so, and he kind of grabbed me and put.
Yeah, you're in the beer leagues early at that point. Yeah.
So he pulled me in and kind of was like, this is what it takes to be a pro, and he kind of taught me, and that's kind of where the mindset kind of really started developing.
Wow.
So I owe a lot to him.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to spend some more time talking about girls hockey and the things that you're doing with that, because it's a Wild West right now. I mean, we're the program's growing. Everyone's trying to figure out where they're at, and the fact that you're a staple here and doing what you're doing. I just have so much enthusiasm. There's no reason to leave the southern states when you've got folks like yourself and giving back the way that you are. So we're humbled. We're grateful for what you're doing. And would you come back and then share some more love of the game?
Yeah, of course, man. Love
All
it.
right.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, keep
thank
working
you.
with the girls in our area. That would be really, really good. And as far as that Montreal Canadian thing, we're okay. We're good. So a lot of people don't know, but you played 2 games for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yep. Back in 2002.
Season opener. I think.
Season opener.
Yeah. I was with Andrew Chuck and Vinny Prospel.
Really?
Yeah, that was the starting lineup.
So that was either investigative journalism, or you told me that last time.
Yeah. Prospel's the only autograph I've ever gotten. We did. I brought the kids to one of the Lightning events, and and my kids.
Good guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he's around anymore. I think he moved back to the Czech or he's back over in Europe, I believe. So.
Yeah. That's cool. Well, it's nice again to have you in the neighborhood and in our hood, and look forward to seeing more of you and everything that you're trying to do and accomplish. And
well, I got to compliment you guys too for all the efforts you guys are doing too for the kids.
We're trying.
So
we're trying.
It's not me coming back here and saving the day or anything. I love giving my passion to.
Oh, dude, you saved our day.
So.
Well, for the girls, for sure. For sure. I mean, the girls end up getting the short end of the stick so often, and if somebody like you can help solidify what's going on with them, that's going to be a huge plus.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah. So, any parting words for us? Anything you want to get off your chest, or you got anything big going on between now and Thursday night?
No, nothing really. I'm kind of doing a lot of studying with this platform, this vision that we're doing. So it's quite interesting. I'm not the big techie guy, but it's a lot of arrows, and you can kind of teach a lot of.
Is that up full swing right now, or are you having a?
We're going to be launching it shortly.
So.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So something we'll as it becomes available, we'll make sure we get a link up for it and do whatever we can to promote and support it.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great day, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it, boys.
It's a cut. All right.
We did stuff.